Hello and welcome to Crypto Conspiracy. This is your host Luis coming to you live with Canna the Great. Welcome, Canna.
How y'all doing today? How y'all doing today?
How you doing?
Got a great show lined for you. Got a great show lined up for you today in the underground conspiracy.
That's right, guys. If you don't know about the history of Bitcoin, then this is where you should be. I've been here 15 years, so you're not going to hear it from anybody, that's been here for only 2 years, right? Or 3 years, or 4 years. You're not going to hear it from them. They weren't here, right? I was here. A lot of people in Komodo were here. A lot of people in Pirate were still here that long ago. That's what makes us amazing. And so you're dealing with the old school. Stop listening to the people out there that are forcing you to buy NFTs and get involved with Trump coin because he's going to be the best president. Yeah. It don't even make sense, guys. You're investing in crap. Crap. It's not going to help your children, right? The whole reason why we loved Bitcoin back in the day was because we thought it was private and decentralized. Right? Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Now it's not private anymore. And decentralization is also questionable. So, so yeah, it was the dream, guys. Bitcoin was the dream. Okay, don't sit there and think you're fat. You're amazing at Bitcoin, and it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's not. It's old. It's decrepit. Old tech. You're getting excited over nothing. Look how many times it's been
It's
forked.
actually obsolete.
Yeah, it is. Look how many times it's been forked. I mean, at this point, the fact that government could compromise it so easily shows you that it's a failure. Right? What's not a failure? Coins like Pirate Chain. That's not a
Fire
failure.
chain.
That's not a failure.
R.
You know why? Because they're upset that they can't control it. Right? They're upset that they can't figure out who's holding the coins. Right? Guess what? It's none of your goddamn business. That's right. Because Pirate Chain naturally is immune to tyrants, right? What's the first thing a tyrant's going to do? He's going to try to find out who's holding a lot of coins so that he can go attack that person, that poor person, right? That mined it before you did because he was on it, baby. You were. Don't be upset that somebody was on something before you. Right? And that's none of your business. It's none of your business. What other people have is none of your business. What you have is your business. And that's how this chain treats everybody. And that's how all chains
And
should
that's the
treat
way it's
everybody.
supposed to be.
I just had somebody complaining to me that they couldn't look up who has the most coins. It's such a joke, right? Because if they could do that, then what's to stop the bad guys from looking at how many coins you have, and then attacking you for it. Right? Doesn't matter if you got $10 or $600. It don't matter, right? They can see it. They're gonna attack you for it. You're gonna get attacked one way or the other,
Hey, Captain. Hey,
government
Captain.
or otherwise.
Hey, Captain. Hey, my dad taught me. He said, if you don't show the thief what you have, then the thief can't steal it.
Correct. If you don't,
Privacy is
if you don't,
everything.
if you don't know what you got, he ain't gonna get it.
That's right.
So this week we have the crypto conspiracy for this week, guys. Is they will force you to use Bitcoin after the next crisis they create. Right. So we know there's going to be a crisis coming. Everybody feels it. Gold and silver feels it. Right. Gold and silver going to extremes. More. This is the best I could ever hope for. So I've been a silver collector for my most of my life. This is the highest silver has ever been. What's that tell you, guys? That tells you that the government's about to take a crap. It means the fiat is about to take a crap, guys. This system's about to burn down.
Finally.
That's what that means. That there's no confidence in the system or the dollar whatsoever. Everybody's bailing out
Zero.
into gold and silver. That's bailing out. That's people getting the hell off the boat. That's what that is. Wonder why they would choose gold and silver.
Amazing.
Why would they choose gold and silver to bail? Right, to get the hell out of the system.
Because
Why
it's
would
real
they use
money.
that? That's right, baby.
Gold and silver is real money. Real
Hmm.
money.
And if you don't know that, guys, I mean, you should go back to listen to Ron Paul again. Like, go listen to his talks. You know, he'll teach you that gold and silver is real money. Go listen to Milton Friedman. Go listen to all the people out there, the good people. You know, talking good things. Uh, Thomas Sowell. You know, these are people you need to listen to because they're the ones who knew back then, and now we just, you know, why we keep repeating the same mistake? It's because we don't know what the past has been, right? The reason why we history repeats is because we don't know history, and that's why we need to learn history so that we don't repeat it. Yeah. So what's happening in crypto is it's repeating over and over again. You got uh,
Captain, you have to learn on your own. We can't rely on the schools, the books, or anything to teach us. We have to learn on our own. You have to apply effort.
I think this is the time of logic, right? It's not even a matter of learning on your own. It's a matter of logically learning. Do you need to learn such things? What do you really need to learn to survive? Uh, is what they're teaching you, approved by who? You know, it's a mess out there. The schools are a mess. I literally take my child to two separate schools for math, on top of the normal public stupid school that he goes to, where he learns absolutely nothing. He learns nothing. He actually comes home talking all kinds of stupidity, which is questionable. You know, it's just 8 hours of playtime, in my opinion. That's what that school is. 8 hours of playtime. We're in China. Have you seen the kids in China, man? They're learning how to cook in school. They're growing things. They're doing kung fu. You know, it's awesome, man. Those kids are awesome. You gotta look. You gotta see them all in line, dribbling balls. They're amazing. Our children don't know how to change the oil on their cars. That's a problem, guys. Because all of the United States will get replaced by all these other children that can do more. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's happening right now, right? It doesn't matter what color you are. You're a United States citizen and you bought into the lie of going to college and working for the enemy, then yeah, you're part of the problem. If you don't own your own business and make this world a better place by owning that business, then you're not really helping the world. You're helping an evil corporation that's trying to hurt people because they need to raise their bottom line. But if you don't believe me, then maybe you haven't worked for a company because I have. I've worked for Big Pharma, Fortune 30 company.
Ouch.
Yeah, I worked for them. I worked for
How do
ISPs.
you sleep at night?
Dude, I worked for the devil. I know it.
How,
I know it. I worked for
how do
multiple
you sleep at
devils.
night?
Well,
I work for the devil too.
it's okay, man. You know, sometimes there's a means to a ways, right? Why do you think they got involved with Bitcoin? It's because they couldn't beat us, right? Just like we can't beat them. And what happens when you can't beat them? You know, you join them, yeah. Then they try to beat you from the inside out, and that's how we try to beat them, right? Because now I know all this nasty secrets because I worked for them. There's things I know that I can't even say. I'm not sure if I even filled out, or one of those non-disclosure agreement things when I got hired. So if I did, then I probably can't. But there are things that I know that I still have never said before, but I can one day, right? So these companies are not working in your benefit. Trust me, right? Especially the drug companies. Their bottom line is to sell as many goddamn drugs as possible. That's all they cared about. They don't care the reason, as long as they could get away with it and sell more drugs to those pharmacies. That's that was their bottom, and beat the other. wholesale pharmaceuticals in selling them cheaper drugs, right? And the generics make them the most money, guys. Generic drugs make them a lot of money. As soon as one of those drugs go generic, it's over. They make 10 times, 100 times more money than they ever did. There was 1 year I was working for them, and they made 100 billion. They were celebrating. They were celebrating their revenue of $100 billion with a B. No joke. I got to raise that year, guys. They gave me $600. They made $100 billion. They gave me $600. You know what I did when they gave me that money? I gave it back to them. I said, "You need it more than me. What the fuck am I gonna do with this? Wipe my ass?" It's like an insult. It's a fucking insult. Right? I'm the guy who keeps all your systems up. I'm the guy who makes sure that everything's backed up and nothing goes down, and I get $600. You suck my balls. Suck my balls.
six
Right?
hundred dollars.
And when Bitcoin went up to the moon, that's exactly what I said. Suck my balls. Have a nice day. I'm out. So they're not working. These corporations, they're not working in your favor. I promise you. Promise you, they don't care. The money that they make is more important than your health. And that's always the bottom line. I have never seen otherwise. I've never seen one of those salespeople say this is going to hurt people. I've never seen that before. I would like to see that. I would like to see people care about other people, but I don't see that. It's all about the money. It's all about the Benjamins making that fiat money, right? All that money you're making right now, guys, in crypto, right? Isn't it great? Isn't it great? 10 years from now, when your child
Yeah, it's
says,
great.
"Hey, Dad, why did you invest in all these transparent coins that tie into this new system that they have that can and where an AI can tell me exactly where my money came from, what IP address, and God knows what else using AI on a transparent chain? Why would you tie me up like that, Dad?" Well, son, we thought we were making money. That's what you're gonna tell them. Son, we made 100 grand, son. We made a Bitcoin or 2 Bitcoins. And then 10 to 20 years from now, when you're having that discussion, keep in mind that money's maybe will buy you an ice cream because of hyperinflation, right? So the money you think you're making now don't mean jack, because by then you won't be able to buy an ice cream with that kind of money. Get it? Go look at Zimbabwe and tell me I'm wrong. Go look at what happened to them. That's coming soon to a United States near you. Yes, so that's there's other ways. So let's get involved. Let's get into how many ways they're gonna convince you to use Bitcoin, guys. So it's not, don't sit there and think, oh, it's amazing, government's adopting Bitcoin. This is amazing. It's not amazing, guys. They want it. They're gonna push it on you. It's not a conspiracy theory to say it is, but it's not. They're pushing it on you right now. You don't know it's gonna happen. It's no joke. All right, you can see by the adoption that's happening by the government itself. Strategic Bitcoin reserves, budget neutral acquisition strategies, legislative support, state level initiatives, regulatory clarity. Yeah, because they're the boss. They're the only ones that can clear up the misinformation, right? How about in the future? What are they going to do? Can you think what they might do? Well, let's see. Mandatory Bitcoin holdings for everybody, right? In financial institutions. All financial institutions it'll be mandatory that they have some type of holdings in Bitcoin. Yeah, I can see that happening. Can you? Tax incentives become Bitcoin tax incentives, right? How are they going to get more people to use it? Well, it's coming. I bet you that's what's going to happen next. Soon they're going to use Bitcoin in tax incentives. And you'll be able to pay your penalties with Bitcoin too. You don't think that's gonna happen? I think it's gonna happen. That's how they're gonna get you to use a coin that rats on you. You know, the most favored by all banks and institutions is Bitcoin because it could be traced and tracked better than fiat, than that green bill in your pocket. Yeah, they love it. It's a bank's wet dream. They salivate over it. Get it? I hope you get it. How about government services and payments? That they'll be accepted. I think there's some already, right? You know, it could be tax payments, social security benefits, right? They're running out of social security. You know, maybe that's what they're going to do now. They're going to say, "Oh, now you're going to get some Bitcoin instead of some of these dollars that we print out." Right? Probably what's going to happen. They're going to make it necessary for citizens to use Bitcoin. That's what they're going to do. Yeah, they're going to adopt this. You don't think it's going to happen? It's happening right now. The CBDC is Bitcoin. If you haven't figured it out, right? How do they convince you to use Bitcoin? They make you think you found it. They make you think it's some amazing fight against the government. Meanwhile, they're over there laughing. They love it. Right? You're the idiot. You're, you just got conned. Uh, Everybody out there, repeating
Hey,
like parrots what they hear from other people. Bad, bro.
hey, Captain.
So
I agree with you. I agree with you. The plan was to push Bitcoin as the CBDs, but I think that failed. I think that plan has failed, and I think that the way they are pushing Zcash right now, I think they have chosen Zcash as the central bank digital currency. Can you see it as well, or am I crazy?
yeah, definitely. One sec, bro. Kev says that he can't hear us. I think it might be on your end, Kev. Can everybody hear us? Okay. Give a thumbs up or a quack. Yeah, quack. Yep. I'm getting some thumbs up. So we should be okay. Go ahead, Tanner. Keep going. Yeah, we got thumbs up, guys. Sorry about that, Tanner. I want to make sure we got no audio issue. That would have been hard. Um, I do that sometimes. I'll talk on mute for like 10 minutes and not notice. Um, all right. Yeah. So, yeah, it is. So, if you guys don't get it yet, Bitcoin is what's going to enslave you. Okay. That's why they're forcing it on you. This is not a conspiracy theory. You could say it is, but it is not. I believe it is not. I believe it's all real, right? Like all good conspiracy theorists, what we research is not just a conspiracy, it's real. Because we researched the shit out of it. Did you? No, you got no time. You're going to work every day. You work a 9 to 5. You come home, you're tired. You have a beer, you watch the game.
Mhm.
You ain't got the time to do the shit I do. So you should listen to me. You haven't been here for 16 years watching these markets like I have. You haven't seen the encroachment of government little by little over the years. You haven't seen it with your eyes, but I have. I've been here. Where you been? All right, you work, paying your bills. You working. I got it. I understand. I got it. I was there once, twice, 3 times, 100 times. I've worked for many companies.
But what I noticed also is that us being out on social media and posting counter arguments is really effective. It really is. But I think we should keep doing it, guys. Anybody listening to me right now, go out there and just start posting
Yeah, well,
counter.
that's
If you
yeah, that's good. Counter post. Definitely get out there and post, guys. Pirate has no marketing. Komodo has some marketing, but it's not this type of marketing. Um, Yeah, so I just told you multiple ways that they're gonna adapt Bitcoin. How many other ways can they adapt Bitcoin in the future to make it to force you to use it? Right? That's what adopt. Why else would government adopt something if they can't use it against you? Why they're not adopting it because they love you, bro. They're not doing it for that reason. I swear to God, if you think that there's something wrong with you, right? They don't care about you. End the story, right? If they're using something, it's to use it against you, not to use it for your benefit. Because if it was for your benefit, we would have a lot more things today. We would have free power in all our homes. We would have free internet. We would have free communications. That all could exist today if it wasn't for the tyrannical nature of these companies and these governments. Because we could all do better without them. You know, and you could think I'm an anarchist. You call me whatever the hell you want. I don't care about titles. I have a belief. My belief is that if you leave something alone, it will grow. Whether it goes right or wrong, we shall see. But you got to give it a chance to grow. There's good things. You can't get that good tree if you don't plant 10 trees, right? Every seed creates a different tree. Even if it's even if it's an apple or a fig tree, right? You try to plant that tree from scratch. You don't know what you're gonna get. It's never the same as the original tree, right? But you won't know if you get a better tree either, unless you plant them seeds, right? But when the government tells you you can't plant any seeds, we have stagnation. That's why your economy is not moving. That's why mom and pop businesses are going down. That's why farmers are having the trouble living their lives. Right? Farmers should be the richest people in the world. Tell me I'm wrong.
I agree. And also, whatever you starve will die. And I say that because if we starve them, if we don't participate, they'll die and go away, and we'll be stuck with what we want. Systems that benefit us. Everything you're describing right now, Captain. If we starve them, and they'll go away.
Yeah.
How can we starve Bitcoin and the central bank and the government? How can we starve them
It's
by
easy.
not using their shit?
Everybody needs to
Stop.
understand everything I'm telling you right now. All right. I came out 4 years ago. I tried to tell you. Nobody wanted to listen. The rare few did. Now here we are again. Everybody needs a re-education. All right. I told you 5 years ago Pirate was the best. Here we are today. It's still the best. But nobody wanted to listen. Everybody wanted to go break out and expand into all other crap. And where are you again today? Back into Pirate. Because Pirate was the best and still is the best. Right? But let's go forward. That's the way you fight, guys. Privacy technology, not just Pirate. You got atomic swaps from Komodo. You got Melee, VPN. You got all these technologies out there that protect you. And you got to use them. You got to learn how to use them. Right? Reticulum. Learn how to use these things. Get out there. Because if you don't learn, no one's going to teach you. They want to enslave you. They don't want you to learn these things. They don't want you how to. They don't want you to use VPNs. That would skew their data that they're selling. If everybody in the world used a VPN, they wouldn't even be able to sell the data because it's all skewed. They're not coming from the right people and such, right? So, boy, think about that. The data the money they
And you
make
just can't.
is ridiculous.
And you can't just use any VPN. You got to use a privacy one.
Mhm. Melee VPN is what I recommend. You can pay for it with Pirate, and if you're paying for
It's
a
private.
VPN with credit card, that's kind of pointless. You're trying to hide, and at the same time, you can see exactly who it is from your credit card bill, bro. They can see who paid. They know your full name. See, that's not anonymous. That's not private. When you use a VPN, you send in some crypto. They give you a key. End of story. No information is exchanged. And that's the only way it should go down. right? If you're giving them your email address and all kinds of information, then you abandon ship. Get the hell out of it. Movad is
Hey, Texas.
recommended. That
Hey, Texas just passed a bill that requires all these apps to ask for KYC or verification. Give your information. KYC essentially is what it is. Have y'all heard that? It just came out yesterday.
yeah, it's gonna get worse. It's just getting worse. Everything's getting
They're
worse.
cl- they're clamping down on us. If you ain't realized it, they're clamping down. They're trying to move towards a digital ID, programmable bitcoins, CBDC, total control. And if they win, if we don't fight them and beat them, if they win, we're gonna be 100% conquered.
Right, right, and that's the last step. The CBDC is the last step. Uh, right now, they're using it to fear you into Bitcoin because they want Bitcoin. Okay, but at some point, they can
Well,
create a CBDC, but it won't go anywhere now.
Bitcoin is the CBDC, Captain.
Correct,
Bitcoin is the central bank digital currency.
correct. But they will create more CBDCs. That will be the mother CBDC, and then they will create more CBDCs from Ethereum, from all these offshoot, platform cryptos, Binance, blah blah.
And if it gets that far, if they get that far along in their plan, then there won't be any real crypto projects out. They'll all be CBDCs. If we don't win, if we don't fight them and win,
Yeah, every central bank will have their own CBDC, and the mother CBDC will be Bitcoin because they could control it on a different level. CBDCs are way more controlled, and then Bitcoin is very controlled. You don't want it. Point is, you don't want a crypto that can be controlled. You don't want a technology that can be controlled by outside forces. I don't care whether it's good, and I don't care whether it's bad. Right? If the tech can be controlled, it will end up in the bad zone at some point, like Bitcoin. Started off good, now
yeah,
it's bad.
that's right. And if you don't take your COVID shot or your 764th booster, oh, we're gonna shut you off,
Well, it's worse than that. They're going to limit how
separate you
much.
from your money.
They're going to limit how much food you can give to your children, how much you could buy of certain things, how much gas you could get. Drink too much coffee today. They're gonna control. They're literally going to macro control the world using this system. Right? They're Palantir,
And
tying it to Bitcoin.
do
Yeah,
you really want the people that have been doing all the stuff that we've seen in the past few years in control of you? I don't. Not at all.
yo, Palantir is the super AI. All right, they once it's connected to Bitcoin's blockchain and all the explorers of every other chain, and then social medias. I mean, this thing, you add an AI to that, it will figure out everything about you. It's over. It's already over, but now it's going to be even more over.
But we can stop them. We can stop them.
The only way to stop them is for
We can't win.
everybody to recognize that transparent by default coins will enslave you. All right, that was last week's topic. Right? Your children will be enslaved. That was last week's topic. This week's topic,
Forced to use Bitcoin.
correct. They will force you to use Bitcoin, guys. They are forcing you right now to use it. Uh, get ready because it's coming. Education and propaganda is coming. The government, could launch all kinds of extensive educational campaigns, and they're going to portray it as some secure, efficient, modern form of currency, and they'll influence everybody's perception and encourage the adoption that they want while they enslave all your children. That's what's going to happen. You guys don't get it. You guys aren't getting it. If you don't understand that, you're not understanding. You're investing in the slavery of your children. Government services and payments. That's definitely going to be a thing. You're going to be paying for everything with Bitcoin at some point. because they want your Bitcoin. They want the real ones. They're gonna put out all these fake ones in the environment, and they're gonna take all the real ones. And the fact that they could do that shows you that this Bitcoin's not the solution. It's not the solution. International pressure. They're gonna add international pressure to all the other countries, right? Because you know, go ahead, tell me USA can't do that, right? They pressure all the countries into doing whatever the hell they want, or else they go in there and bomb them. So that'll bring us closer to the whole global shift of the one world currency, one world government, right? Old school thinking. One world currency leads to one world government, guys. That's what that leads to. A tyrannical currency leads to a one world government. That's where it's going. This I don't know how many more
One
ways I
world
could convince
government.
you to see what I see. You know, they're sitting there telling you, "Oh, we got to give this regulatory clarity." Who the fuck are you? I give you clarity. How about you mind your own business, right? Old cypherpunk thinking, mind your own business.
I've noticed the word cyberpunk come up a couple times this week.
Yeah, that's because we're losing the cypherpunk ideals of crypto. Not your keys, not your coins. Be your own bank. Where's the punk? As Weirlock would say, where's the punk in cypherpunk, man? Where is it? You're all a bunch of ciphers with no punk. Bunch of padissies.
Caduceus.
Right? Grab your balls, guys. Jump into Komodo. Start using the exchange. You will not be able to trade, even though we have the solution to private money. You will not be able to trade with each other without something like Komodo. That's why we're here today, guys. That's why we're here, because we already had privacy 5 years ago. It's not my fault you didn't figure it out yet, but we have it. There's no reason to continue fighting for it because we have it. What we don't have are free markets. We got exchanges kicking Firo, Ergo, uh, Komodo. They're kicking them off the exchanges because they have built-in exchanges, so they're threatened. They're threatened. You get it? They're threatened. They're threatened. So they kicked them all off at the same time. They saw the threat. It wasn't about volume. It had nothing to do with that. And we saw it. I hope you guys see it too. Right? They're threatened by us.
I see it.
And it's a good thing. It's a good thing, guys. That means we could win. We could start winning again. Okay? Because they've been winning and flipping people's minds into garbage for years. It all started with DeFi. Everybody getting into DeFi and losing all their money. I mean, yeah, you obviously didn't learn the first time, so they did it again. Then they did it again. They're still doing it. Farcoin, Trump coin, they're still doing it to you. And you're over there thinking this is the latest thing since sliced bread. It's not. You're being duped. The only greatest latest thing since sliced bread is called Pirate Chain and Komodo's atomic swaps.
Or
And keep it and keep up with it. Keep up with the technology, where they're going, what they're building. That's what you need to do in crypto. Stop listening to these influencers. They're all idiots. They all have an agenda to push you into what they have. That's what they're doing. Why do you think they promote whatever coins they promote? Because they probably hold millions of it. They can't give you
and
a
they have
real
control over them.
they can't give you a real reason to use their own crypto because there's really no utility to it. It gives you no power. Those coins give you no power. None. Pirate and Komodo gives you the power of free markets. Nobody can take it away from you because they can't see it. That's the whole point of privacy. It gives you real world power. Why would you not want that? Are you scared? Have you not found your balls? I found mine. They were in my wife's purse. I found the list. She holds them sometimes. If you guys got any questions, come up.
Not me.
Come on, come up. If you think I'm wrong, please come up. Talk to me. Now's the time.
Let's have a discussion.
Hey,
We all need to get on the same page, because if we don't, we're going to be conquered, y'all. That's the truth.
we're already conquered. Without Pirate and Komodo's atomic decks, that's it. This is over. Without those two technology, this is over. There's nothing else out there, guys. There is nothing, right?
Nope. Nope. Without Komodo, all of us are playing crypto. Just playing.
Hello.
Hello.
What you got? What's up, DJ Monk?
Hey, Pirate Bread. I think you are absolutely right. And it's nice to hear somebody like you who is enthusiastic and see what is possible to do in this world. I would like to add something.
Yeah, man.
I always look in the past and try to figure out what is Bitcoin. It's interesting to see that the FBI 10 years before or 9 years before the Genesis block of Bitcoin was made. This was 2009, and 9 years before, in the year 2000 2000, the FBI described something what is for me 98% Bitcoin.
Mm.
And when you look at the block wars, the block wars was one of the biggest scam ever. And
Yep.
I didn't realize this for around 3 years. 3 years I believed it is bullshit until I saw, oh man, this is absolute bullshit. Why they don't increase the block size? And I always thought about it. And a while later I realized why. Because they want to control something.
Right.
And the easiest way to control something is something they understand. But when free programmer, some of them were free, some of them were paid from the government,
Right.
um, implement something they can't control, they don't like it. That's what I want to add for all the things you said today.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're absolutely correct, brother. I'm glad you see it too. I sometimes I feel like I'm
Yep.
alone.
You're not alone.
No,
There's
absolutely not.
million. There's millions of us out here that are just hungry for truth, and just sick and tired of all the fabrication, just the
I think
lies and
around
the fakery.
I think around 1,000 humans like we here understand all these things. Who can look in the past, who see technology, who understand human behavior, and so on and so on.
Yeah, well, I did take 2 years in psychology, so but I did it to understand my father. But I did get a good education.
You just said this with don't show the teeth what you have. It was a great saying. I never heard this before, but it's great.
It's yeah, well,
Say it again.
Don't show the thief what you have, so the thief can't rob you.
that's right.
It's the
Well,
first
That,
time I heard this today, and it's great.
that's right. A thief will always go steal what he knows is there. If he doesn't
Yeah,
know something's there, how can he steal it?
and if you're as old as I am, a thief could be anybody. It could even be a family member. So
More
yeah.
likely to
Too
be a
much
family
data and too
member than
much
a
knowing is
stranger.
never good. For an example, when the Nazis came to the Netherlands, and the Nazis asked, "Where are your Jews?" Um, the Nazis, the Netherlands don't want to tell them, but they look in the birth certificates in the registry, and so they found them almostly all. I think something like 95% or so. And then they will come to France, and in France there was no data about this, and they don't found them. So what you don't show anybody, you can't take, no matter if it's money or people who live there.
And then you got companies like Apple that won't report the amount of silver that they use for their computers and stuff. And by law that they have to, but they're not. You see, so see even this is where you know their blockchain they should be using their own technology, the transparent chain, right? So the transparent chain could tell you what this corporation did and all these poor saps that invested in that corporation, right? That's what transparent chains are good for. If you want to keep that corporate world alive, but it's not good for your family. When you come home at night and you buy those private toys, right? Uh, you're not buying them, using a transparent chain. You're gonna buy those marital toys with pirate chain, right? Because why would you ever want anybody knowing that you bought, you know, a marital toy, right? Maybe a little outfit for your chick to wear. That's what I would do, right? Little French maid outfit, right? But people don't need to know what you do, right? So what kind of money would you use for something like that? Like when you go buy your food for your family, what kind of money would you use for all that? Right? I would say pirate. Because why would you want anybody monitoring how much food you buy? Right? Because at that point control comes in. Right? So you don't want them to know how much water you use. I mean, the amount of electricity that you use. Do you really care for people to know that information? Right? Because in my neighborhood, we're growing up. If you use too much information, helicopters start flying above the house, and then they start questioning if you're growing drugs inside your basement, right? So you see, it's all used against you. It's all used against you somehow, someway. All your information will be used against you. Not just that, it will be sold. Right now, they sell your data to all these analytical companies, and they make a ton of money off of you. You get nothing but rate. I have that KY ready. Every time you fill out a credit card or you go to a bank and you sign a form or you register something, maybe a weapon or register for a license or something, just get the KY ready. Right? Because you're asking permission. And in life you should never have to ask permission.
Yeah, I'm not asking for shit. I'm taking my financial freedom with Pirate Chain and Komodo. I'm out every day, all day long on X promoting this shit like a beast because I don't want to be a slave. I don't want my kids to look me in the eye and say, "Daddy, why'd you do this to me?" Oh man, that'd kill me. So I want to fight. I want to fight until I die. Because without having privacy and freedom, what's the point of living? What's the point of living? What's the point of doing all this shit? I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to have technology that's fake. I don't want to be playing in a fake. I don't want to be playing with fake stuff. I want to play with real. I want to play with truth. I'm tired of all these lies and sickness. I'm tired of being robbed and sick of it.
It's
So
it's it's the end of crypto. Okay, so the dream of crypto will end with Pirate Chain and Komodo. There's nobody out there building anything similar. There's nobody out there building anything better. All right. I just heard. I think in the chat somebody mentioned, oh, use Sarai Dex instead. No, guys, no. Poly Crypto Blog. Go back to the Telegram. Look at what he said about it. No, it's a no. It's not better than Komodo still. And so, if you guys could get into Komodo and understand what makes it special, like I, right, I'm going to tell you why I love it right now. You ready? It's because if every crypto implements Komodo into their own wallet, right? I'm not talking about you going to Komodo's exchange and trading. The other way around. You take the technology and you fork it into your project and you make your own exchange, right? Say you're into the BSV, right? Sounds like Bavarian cream or something. It's some type of topping. You know, some BSV topping. If you're into BSV, make a BSV exchange from Komodo. And then what happens is that one that you create now shares liquidity with all other forks. Can you imagine if every coin did this? What a huge exchange we would have of liquidity that's shared amongst all communities. It would be pretty, it would be awesome. It would be
That's
never
exactly
ending.
what's coming. That's exactly what we're. That's what exactly the direction we're headed.
All
Exactly. I
decentralized.
see it.
You can't take it down. You'd have to take every goddamn coin down. It'd be impossible. You see? This is fucking amazing. Why aren't you guys getting with the Komodo program? You guys see something better? Tell us. Come here and tell us about what you see that's better than Komodo. I'd like to know.
Yeah, let's work together. Let's work together, guys. We're on the same team.
Come here. Tell me why Sarai Dex is better than Komodo Dex. Tell me. Does it work off of nodes? You know, 16
Okay,
nodes? Tell
I
me. Tell me
think,
why. Why it's better.
okay, my
Grow up.
opinion.
Oh, I'm sorry, DJ. You're
Yes.
soft. Go for it.
My opinion on this. Yes, pirate is very important to make invisible transactions and also to make all the other coins kind of invisible. Because when I made a few new wallets and make a few exchanges to the DEX, atomic DEX or Commodore DEX, and use pirate addresses in the middle, then it's also kind of invisible. So pirate and Commodore DEX is very important. Yes, Commodore also. And also the possibility that they make a copy of the Commodore wallet and call it whatever, DEX, I don't care.
Yep.
And they use the same order book is also great and makes more liquidity. Yes. But I also think, I don't know exactly why, but I think Veros is also very important. I know it's not our project, and we help Veros a lot, and they are kind of ignorant against us because for me it looks like they sit on a too high horse. We have, that's the saying, and for me those three are the most important on this planet: Pirate, Komodo, and Veros. Veros, I see, they have a huge technology and it's different. And maybe to have more technological possibilities is not so bad. Okay, back to you. No?
Go ahead, Polly.
Yeah, I just want to comment on that Sarai Dex, and it's not just them; it's a lot of popular dexes out, and the issues with them and why they actually chose that route. So why they chose it is because it's a lot, um, I guess, easier, if you will, to facilitate a trade, operate on a liquidity pool model. But to that effect, to actually be able to do that, you have to tokenize into their ecosystem, whether that's like a real token issue being issued on the chain or an off chain uh, ledger mechanism. Um, I've seen both ways being done. That at that point you've given up control of your funds. Now, some of these schemes that like Saridex or Thorchain or Chain Flip, some of them operate where they control most, if not all, of what the signers that control the vaults that these coins go into, and that presents a problem if there's a group that colludes in some of these mechanisms, they can effectively steal coins. And now the counter argument to that is that some of these implement where it requires the withdrawer's signature and not just a majority consensus. But even in that case, it still leaves open the possibility that you put your tokens in that vault and just not enough people sign for you to withdraw it. So they essentially can freeze your funds as well. So there's a lot bigger risk in these types of dexes than what you find in an atomic swap. So an atomic swap, even in the worst case, like there's no third party that has any sort of control over where your coins go. So that's really the big advantage, and also that with how the dex actually works, I mean, it requires a little bit of more some technical knowledge, but you can actually spin off into a complete another network. It wouldn't share the liquidity of that you would find on other on the main network where all the different coin communities are running their own version of it. But the benefit of this is for a truly private mechanism that would allow you to trade between two people with nobody else knowing besides those two people. Now that's not out of the box. Requires a little technical knowledge to actually get it to work, but it's the features there. It would just require switching to a different net ID and spinning up different seed nodes for that net ID. But if you wanted to use it for that purpose, it's able to, and that's another I would say a big feature, big hidden feature of how we develop the technology, where it's not reliant on any singular project or any singular dex or liquidity pool or so on. Um, you're able to just trade between two people, and no matter what circumstance. So that's I just wanted to add that portion.
Yeah, we need to be real clear about these exchanges, because they might say that they are one way, and if you really look, they're not. So we're going to have to come together and share our information on these exchanges with everyone else, so we can prevent
So they don't get tricked anymore.
prevent from being fucking robbed. Yeah.
So, and or it breaks and the ultimate whoops, it broke, guys, and everybody loses their money, like what always happens with wrapped coin type of dexes. But on that note,
Or
guys, this
people with, hey, Captain, real quick. And what these Zcashers are finding out today are, whenever they go to withdraw in a shielded transaction, they're not saying sorry, it's not available.
yeah, well, they're only those corporations will never add those Z addresses that Zcash is saying, oh, we have privacy, but they don't, because as long as that transparency option is available, they'll never use the privacy options. Right? Privacy is not an option, guys. You should have that by default. No, that you should be demanding its default. Right? Nobody gives you privacy. You take that shit. Anyway, guys, listen. It's over. 4 o'clock. We have a new show about to start. Chips is joining us. The ultimate trustless poker game. It's been in development for 10 years. It's very exciting. I remember it so long ago. It was an NXT token back then. So stay tuned. I'm gonna we're gonna end this now. Thank you for joining us today on the Crypto Conspiracy, where today you learned why Bitcoin will be pushed on you. Bitcoin will be the money the U.S. wants to use and get rid of the fiat that you're using now. That's That's this week's conspiracy theories. I hope you learned a lot this week as to why Bitcoin is not the solution. It was when it started, it is not anymore. Nobody wants it. That is a real cypherpunk. We all understand that it is a surveillance coin. Just like all transparent by default chains are surveillance chains, unless they protect you by default. All right, guys. I hope you learned something today. Love you all. This is Luke signing out.